Thank you so much, Nagma. Welcome, everyone. I will like to start this session with a beautiful quote, which I'm getting recalled to in this moment while we initiate this conversation. Try not to resist the changes which come your way. Instead, let life live through you. And do not worry that your life is turning upside down. How do you know that the side you are used to is better than the one to come? In some ways, children embody this so much. And I'm so privileged in this moment to have Aditya and Nikita take this conversation forward, especially in the times of crisis. We are kind of discovering hope. And briefly sharing, Aditya is someone who I deeply admire, and we all can credit him for changing the trajectory of a lot of young people in their 20s. And Nikita is someone who has worked extensively in Maharashtra and on kind of transforming night schools. So welcome Aditya, welcome Nikita. It's so good to have you here. As the topic today is, how do we unlock hope and protect education from a crisis? I would like to start with you, Aditya, asking, let's try and deconstruct crisis. What does crisis look like? Because there's been so much of conversation around learning crisis, emotional crisis. What does it look like, especially for children going to school in the age of 6 to 14?
Thank you, Vivek. Thank you for this opportunity it'll give to share voices from the ground as to what is happening with children. I think, Vivek, the learning crisis is something everyone is talking about. The children are not going to school, and therefore we are going to not be able to catch up on learning. I think that is definitely happening. But I think outside of the learning crisis, that's a very, to be honest, it's a very middle class framing of the problem at the moment. Because that is the problem our children are facing. So we're imagining all children are facing the same problem. Low incomes have always had a learning crisis, right? So what they are facing is a different crisis. I think it's an additional crisis. And I see it at least three, four dimensions of this additional crisis. One is an emotional crisis. Uh, Children are missing their friends, children are missing school, children are feeling anxious that their father doesn't have a job. Children are wondering what is happening. They don't understand it. They're not able to decode it. Why is life not normal? What suddenly changed? Why am I not allowed to go out? And I think that is causing X amount of anxiety, X amount of just confusion in the child's mind. And when a mind is confused, then even if you have learning, it's not going to happen. Even if you provide learning opportunities, it's not going to happen because the mind is just focused on ye kya ho raha hai, right? So there's an emotional crisis going on. I think the second one is clearly a nutrition crisis. The ICDS supply chain has stopped for providing meals. The PDS supply chain is stochastic and not providing the additional rations required in many states. The midday meal has stopped. Learning only happens on a full stomach. One of the best schemes we had in the country was the midday meal and the ICDS Poshan Abhiyan and stuff like that. So I think that's going to be another much bigger crisis. My daughter has enough nutrition, but low income communities, it's not a given at all. Someone was asking me, how come there have been no deaths because of starvation? And the thing in India is you don't die because someone will give you some food. You'll just be malnourished severely, and you'll permanently impair your ability to learn and develop as a full human being. And I think that's what is happening across the board. And the third crisis is an attention crisis, right? Children, even the 25-50% of children who have devices are not willing to learn for more than 45 to 90 minutes in a day. They're not able to sit for 5 hours. This is not how they're used to learning. One, you don't get that, even if you had your own personal device, the willingness and the engagement and the excitement is there for a small subset of children. This is the 10-15% who used to sit in the front of the class and listen to the teacher. But the remaining who are in the middle and the back of the class who weren't even used to the teacher when you were physically present are finding it even more difficult to pay attention when it's online. Because I can't even do some shararat to keep myself occupied. I can't poke the guy next to me. This is a new environment. I'm struggling to keep attention. So I think that's the third one. And the fourth and the final one is a gender inequity crisis. I think this is hitting us really hard. The first person to be girls are staying home more, girls are eating less, girls are working more in this crisis. and the impact of that is not going to show because school enrollment rates are not picking up at the moment. Promotion rates, no one is monitoring at the moment. But I think we are going to have a much bigger what we worked for the 10-15 years for much greater gender equality in at least school going and dropouts. I think we're going to get hit very, very badly. So in summary, I think there is a crisis. It's not just learning. I think there's emotional, nutrition, attention, and gender inequity.
Thank you so much, Aditya, for substantiating all of this. And, as crisis has so many faces, it looks very different for children in primary school because they're very early days for them in school. But the crisis might look very different. And, my question is for you, Nikita, when especially you have been through first 8 years of schooling and now you are about to, kind of take a plunge into a next stage of schooling, which is, kind of moving towards employment or completing school education, moving beyond compulsory education. What does crisis look like for those students and those segment of students?
So, thank you, Vivek. Uh, uh, so, with us in the last 6 months, we have seen that there is this tremendous resilience that our students already have. They are all young adolescents, adults who are already working, who suddenly were into a situation where they have, many of them lost their jobs. Women had to suddenly, adopt to a lot of new ways. We suddenly introduced smartphones and learning through smartphones, but we saw tremendous amount of resilience, and we saw a very, very good high engagement from our students. So we've seen that the attendance, we've never seen attendance with night school students beyond 60% against enrolled. And suddenly here in this online education which we started in April with our 10th graders, we saw 90% and above attendance, with almost 50% students attending out of the ones who are already enrolled and the ones who had smartphones. So almost 90% attendance, engagement ratio more than 82%, and it was amazing to see all this. And we just realized that these students, in spite of so many problems, are showing that willingness, are showing uh, the willingness to come, learn, and also pass it on to their. So they were not only learning themselves, but passing it on to their. So some of them to their children, children to their adults, and so that I have seen. What we have seen is actually the crisis as far as, and I definitely resonate with Aditya here, roti kapda makan, because we realize that in spite of all of this, some of them, of course, one reason why 50% were out, we were not able to get them into the online system was because they didn't have smartphones, internet connectivity nahi hai, internet data khatam ho gaya hai, parents are not giving smartphones and all of that. But mainly, I've lost my job. I don't have my Aadhaar, so I don't have access to that PDS system, और वो जो राशन मुझे मिलना चाहिए तो वो मिल नहीं रहा है because मेरे पास वो I don't have the necessary documents, and मेरे घर में आज खाना नहीं पका है, तो you want me to come for your online education? That those kind of problems. So we realize that the problems are very basic now. It is like beyond. So earlier, when we used to enroll the students, it was easy because we would say कि अच्छा आपका job है, आपके पास खाना पीना तो है, clothing है, shelter है, अभी आप स्कूल में आ जाओ. लेकिन अभी तो बेसिक ही नहीं है, फूड घर पे नहीं है, माइग्रेशन हो रहा है बिकॉज हमने तभी एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम व्हेन वी स्टार्टेड कि दे आर सेइंग दैट हम करेंगे क्या, हम यहाँ पे हाउ डू वी लिव, हाउ डू वी अभी एग्जिस्टिंग का ही सवाल है, तो आगे चल के हम एजुकेशन कैसे करें. तो आई थिंक वेरी बेसिक, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस व्हेन वी डिड अ सर्वे वी realized that we have almost lost 50% of our students in spite of being enrolled. We are not able to engage them. Suddenly they are out of the system of night schools. The ones who we had got them enrolled, almost 50%. So अगर हमारे 10th का data अगर देखो तो almost 2,500 students across our 85 schools, and that too these are actual students who are engaged in during the 9th grade. suddenly now we only find about 50% of them. Usme se bhi 50% we are able to. So you see that the crisis is beyond what we see. It is just we have to ensure that they are given the jobs, they are given that shelter which they have lost now. Without which they are not going to come. So आगे लर्निंग तो बाद में होगा लेकिन इनको लाए कैसे स्कूल में कैसे लाए तो पहले आई थिंक आई सी दैट एज अ basic crisis now going ahead and right now also because whatever we are touching is just 50% and that we've touched pretty well very well the students have हमारा जो अगर baseline end line देखो तो 70% suddenly our end line results are saying वो जो learning हो रहा है बहुत अच्छा हो गया है but what about the others and अगर हम ये नहीं सब करेंगे तो they are out of the system we will never be able to because if we are not able to provide and that is the mandate which our donors are not going to allow because food distribution we did to a certain extent wherever individual donors came in helped us we said oh these after the survey we realized that ye family is really so many families want this without which they will not be able to send their children for online we managed to give them but हम कब तक दे तो I think ये एक बहुत बड़ा crisis है and we all need to think about how do we because I think the next crisis is, I think, where the government has failed is how do you respond to crisis like this? Even if it's an education department, I think the time frame that they took and they are still taking. I mean, I shouldn't be talking to you still in partnership, but we've spoken about this in the meetings, and I said the response to the crisis has been very, very slow. I don't know. I mean, why? We have been so when we started we launched a smartphones campaign we were able to get about 400 smartphones from different individuals and we were able to give but still we realized that almost even today we have almost 50% out of us of the system because we've still not been able to give them the necessary resources which they need to come and avail the education so kis equality ki baat so I don't think the machinery, the government machinery was, has been able to respond very well. Of course, Diksha and all of that has been there, but when आप actual learning की बात करो, तो वो सिर्फ उन्हीं के साथ हो रहा है जो can avail. And I think, and based on this, a lot of points for us to ponder and see how we as non-for-profits or even the civil society can support the government in such crisis and how the government can pull us in at the right time to bring in certain measures quickly. I mean the time frame is important. 6 महीना of learning गया पूरा and the students are lost. अभी इनको कैसे वापस लाए? Then it's too late because now when we are trying to involve our community leaders to get back these students, we cannot find them. Some of them have gone and gone forever. So we will never be able to see them again because वो crisis में we couldn't help them. हम जितना भी कर सके हमारा इतना resources नहीं था. So I think yes, the crisis is beyond and some of the things definitely resonate. Gender, I definitely agree that हमारे जो लड़कियां हैं वो we have instances where women could not join our online classes because husband has said in-laws have said ये करके क्या करोगे अभी तो इधर खाने पीने का ये है अब छोड़ दो इसको 10th मत करो निकाल and so they've gone out and we had to convince them they are in-laws and so yes I think it is very basic roti kapda makan and beyond that how do we respond how does the government how do all NGOs come together and in the future respond how can the response time
so what I'm listening, Nikita, what I'm listening from you is that the crisis has only deepened for those others, the 50%. It has only deepened. The crisis was already there, and what this pandemic has done, it has exposed that. I get recalled to that metaphor. If you put a frog in a cold water and you slowly raise the temperature, it doesn't come out. But if you put a frog in a hot water, it jumps out. And I think this pandemic has kind of reminded us that we are already kind of in a crisis, and this has just exposed. And I'm so tempted, Aditya, to kind of push this a bit with you, is that as this pandemic has not bought anything new. As you said, the 4 crises that you have mentioned, these were already there even before Corona. It's not something very new to us. So if I may ask you, what is new in this crisis? Because if we are not able to decode that, then our response will be quite old and traditional. So what's new in this crisis according to you?
Vivek, I think it's just now everyone is more, when things are good, I'll support you, but when things are bad, I'll first protect my own family. Right, and that's what has happened. That's why these inequities have expanded, because I no longer have the financial. I'm not sure of my own family. I'm not going to support some low-income family. I did it first for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, like Nikita said. Now, how long will I support it? Now I have to take care of my own family, my own job, my own children. And I think that energy is coming back towards the self. But I don't believe it's only negative things that have happened here. I believe a lot of positive things have also happened. I think there are a lot of positive opportunities that are available out there, right? One is, I think there's definitely an opportunity for accelerating socio-emotional learning in the education system. The education system has been disproportionately balanced towards academic outcomes and not social emotional learning. And I think we now recognize that without the awareness of emotions, ability to deal with tough situations, resilience, we've always been talking about these skills, but have never been able to push more for this now than ever before. So I think those of us who are working in the space of a more holistic development for children beyond just academic outcomes, I think this is a huge opportunity to push and rebalance education to be about the whole child, not just about academic outcomes. I think the second thing which we've been pushing for a long time is for parents and communities to be involved much more in education. Typically, we outsource the education to the child, of the child to the school teacher, and say, "हम क्या कर सकते हैं? हम तो अनपढ़ हैं." But now that there is no school, the mother is starting to teach something. The bhaiya is starting to teach. One chacha who's educated is teaching. Some cousin is teaching. So local community based, what resources do we have? What can we do? As parents, I'm getting more involved. Even if you have to use the device, I'm supervising with the device and helping you with the device and then helping you do your project. So I think parents and communities are coming back. I think the third part of this is EdTech has become an opportunity, right? We've been pushing for EdTech complementing education. A lot of people have been saying EdTech will replace schools. I'm not of that view. I think it is a beautiful complement. There's X amount that EdTech can do and the X amount that a live person can do. And that EdTech, even the minimum amount we've been resisting, but teachers have accepted that portion a lot more. The amount that teachers and children accept EdTech a lot more. And those who are too gung-ho about EdTech have realized the limitations of EdTech. So I think we've learned what we would have learned over 15 years. I think we have learned in the last 6 months. You don't get overexcited about EdTech and don't stick at no EdTech either. There is a particular role for EdTech in the child's life. And the fourth one is collaboration. I think NGOs who used to waste time, saying, okay, your turf, my turf, there is no this thing now. All of us put together cannot solve this problem. So I think the pace at which collaboratives are coming together, the pace at which skills are coming together to solve problems. We ourselves, we wanted to do socio-emotional learning in the 25 aspirational districts in which we work. And we knew we didn't have curriculum, but within a month, we were able to put together 6 different organizations, from Slam Out Loud, who has poetry, to Art of Play, who has sports, to Think Equal, who has it for preschool children, to Emory University, who has it for middle schools. We were able to put together a collaborative to create curriculum and roll it out within a month. Previously, that would have taken 18 months. So I think there are a lot of positive sides to this crisis as well. I think SEL is a real, social emotional learning is a real opportunity to make it mainstream. Bringing parents into education, like NEP has always imagined, is a huge opportunity. Collaboration amongst NGOs and government, and amongst NGOs and NGOs, and among government department to government department, all are going on a lot more. And EdTech, again, coming much, much more. So I think there are a lot of positive opportunities as well that have come as a result of this.
Thank you so much, Aditya, for sharing those silver linings, because if I have to kind of pick up one thing from what you shared, is that pandemic has in some ways accelerated the progress on lot of things. And that's something that we must kind of, ride on moving ahead. Nikita, as we're talking about opportunities and, I have a specific question for you. What is one because we're talking about new normal, and for some reason I really don't like the word new normal, because it's like again going back to something called normal. What is one thing that you would not like to go back, especially in secondary education? There's a lot more, recommendations already coming in NEP. What is one thing that you would not like to go back? What is one opportunity that you see in this pandemic to leverage?
So, yeah, we definitely don't want to go back on complete offline in the sense physical school learning, as in like, we are looking at blended model. We saw the model online education working beautifully for us. And we realized that the cost per child also goes down. If we just kind of suddenly residential, we would spend lakhs of rupees. So because we realized that because our budgets came down drastically, it was easy for us to raise that much amount, and it didn't become, it was not very difficult at all. So instead of going in for too many residential trainings, and not that it doesn't, I mean, definitely they are needed, and you do need, but then instead of 3 residential, we can just do 1 residential trainings with our headmasters or teachers, and the rest can be online because बहुत सारा पैसा बच जाता है, and then the cost per child drastically comes down. So we are looking at how can we make the model less, lighter, and definitely don't want to go to that heavy model where our cost per child is pretty high. And can we get it down 50%? With the, so I think that's and because things have really worked in this online. Even the trustees who have come online for the trainings have responded very well. The teachers, and the outcomes are happening. So why not? So that's something which we are very much excited, and we're looking at how do we bring down the cost per child. Second thing, what I the positive thing that happened is our education secretary, Vandana Krishnan, she got an opportunity to, so they came and saw the night school students, interacted with them while the online classes were on, and I think it was nice because after that the conversation that happened was how do we then build this how do we get other NGOs on board to ensure that what is happening, the best practices across different organizations, how do we implement it now and apply it to crises which are happening in the education space, and I think we will definitely follow up on that. And also they've cut down on the syllabus drastically. So initially 75%, now it's almost like 60% is what. So, and we've been talking about it for night school. So we are looking at how can we leverage that and see that even if we do 60%, we do it very well, thoroughly, and that is going to be helpful in getting the learning levels right. So I think that's I think going ahead, if we can reduce the burden of learning too many things, and just doing little but doing it thoroughly, that definitely will help this segment of population that we are working with, especially the secondary space and adolescents who have dropped out and now come back. So I think that's what we are looking at, with also taking the government on board. Last thing, what didn't work for us for so many years, like Pratham, Avanti Gurukul, and all just happened because of the crisis. I believe they said, okay, take our foundation course, and we're happy to share with you the foundation. The check second chance of Pratham was shared with us. We have all the material with us. Avanti Gurukul came and shared. Of course, it was facilitated by MSDF, which definitely helped, but they were open, and I think in the future, if these collaborations happen, then we don't duplicate and we don't end up spending too many resources and double spending on things which have already been done by others. So yes, I think these are some takeaways, and going ahead, we can just look at how we can build on them to make this space, a better space for everybody, so that we can contribute back to the society. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nikita, for being so candid. If I have to just kind of, pick up 4 words that coming to my mind right now is optimize, collaborate, accelerate, and impact. And maybe Aditya would laugh at this, and scale. as much because we live in a country of scale. So thank you so much for this wonderful conversation. We can go on and on, but if I have to summarize the entire, conversation that we had, is that crisis is a crisis on day one. On day two, it becomes an opportunity. With that, I will end this segment. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vivek. Thank you, Nikita.